So can you tell me about who's would be benefit from attending your course, or the other way is using the jaw motion tracking? Who will be benefit?
Well, thank you for this question. I think it's one of the most important questions for anybody who will want to make the decision to attend the course and to have a 2 days interaction. And first of all, I thank Dr. Ryan for invitation and really what you achieved with opening the Acumen Dental Training Center. It was, I think, less than a year. And you already, I follow you on Instagram and I see how many beautiful and fantastic courses you organize. And I think this part of the world really needed this kind of boost in education. And so I think just to answer this question, I have to explain who am I? Because I'm an ordinary prosthodontist. I have a history of being an orthodontist for 10 years, but then I stopped being a competitor with my wife. She is orthodontist with very big experience and she treats a lot of complex cases. So when I first have seen her doing multi-loop, and I don't know how to do multi-loop, I decided not to compete, so I quit being orthodontist and I dedicate my practice only to the prosto. But the thing is that we always worked in a big team. And my responsibility all the time was to plan a treatment. And I don't mean only the medical part of the treatment. So what kind of treatment per se we will have to do. I also was in charge of the management of the patient. So who will be first, who will be second, how to communicate inside the team, how to make the time of the patient worth so everything would be all right. And most important, how to not to lose the information and at the same time have the means to export the information from my brain to everybody else, including the patient who has to actually to accept the treatment. So the thing is that, and I even have a slide about that. Let me see if I go for actually, it's not my first time to the Hong Kong because I have been in Hong Kong almost 10 years ago with my family. So the thing is that, we'll skip to that. Right now, we have a lot of digital information, and this information is usually static. So I try to skip that. So yeah. So uh, and the static information that we are getting, it's fantastic. I mean, I worked for 25 years. I started as analog dentist, and I really appreciate and value how much the intraoral scanning, the CBCT, and their easiness of application of dental photography changed our life. I still remember then I was struggling to buy the camera and I couldn't find a nice lens. Right now it's easy. Then there was a problem with the flashes. Then always 2D X-ray, and we have to find a center where they make 3D. So I struggle for that. And so we are witnessing a digital revolution, but this revolution till maybe short period of time was static. So we have a lot of data, but this data still static. And jaw motion, that actually is not new. You know, from the beginning of invention of the articulators, people were trying to reproduce and to record the movement of the lower jaw, but it was very cumbersome, very difficult. The patient didn't like it. Doctors didn't like it. It was very difficult. We all know, for example, gamma that was invented by Professor Rudolf Slavicek in the 70s, and in the 80s it became popular. Still, it's not so easy. But at the same time, there is a lot of value in the dynamic information. There is a lot of value for the orthodontists. There is a lot of value for the prosthodontist. But the thing is that there is misconception. Many think that it's just enough to record the movement of the jaw. But I think that's not true. It's very important to relate the movement of the jaw to the occlusion, to the therapeutic goals, to the finding of the therapeutic position of the lower jaw and to the radiologic data, the position of the condyles inside the fossa, and so on. And for the settings of the articulator, of course, or for the recording of the movements we want to reproduce in the final restoration. So I think that in the future, jaw motion will be integral part of every dental practice. And it's not a question if, it's a question when people will start using it. The earlier you will start using it, utilizing it in your practice, the easier it will be for you to work with this information. I still remember when I was not even a young dentist, but I was attending a lot of courses. And I remember some of the speakers I was talking to, old school, they told us, Guy, don't buy scanners. Scanners are not good. Impressions are still better. You still need to do retraction cords. Scanners are not so precise and so on. So I will stick to impressions. And I listened to them. What happened? A couple of years passed and scanners started to be overwhelmingly everywhere. And then I started to see doctors who started to use scanners very early. They were so-called early adopters. And by the time I started to utilize the technology of scanning, I was way behind of what I could achieve if compared with them, because they went through all the mistakes, all the troubles, but they became more powerful, and their market right now is more prestigious and or more successful. So when I realized that I was misinformed by the people who I was given trust, I understood that in today's world, if you want to be successful and you want to have professional growth, you have to be an early adopter of the technology. If you trust the technology or don't trust, you have to make your own experience with it to understand is it worth in your practice or not. So I can tell you jaw motion, jaw tracking, the way I started utilizing it in practice changed a lot. And I don't want to go back to work without it. And I think I wouldn't be able to. So I don't know if it answered your question, but that's what I believe, that every dentist will benefit from having dynamic information that will help him or her to make the decision about the treatment and to communicate within the team and to communicate with the patient.
I totally agree. I started use 3 years ago, and I do think that it